Welcome to Tecmo Tuesday, and welcome to the conference championship of this 2017 Cleveland Browns season. We did not make it to the conference championship. We didn't make it to the goddamn playoffs. But the Raiders and Patriots did on the AFC side, and then the Bears and Seahawks did on the NFC side. I will be simulating these games and watching and commentating, among some other shit. Let's just dive right into it. Since this is, whoa, I got my headphones up loud. Since this is, a CPU only game, just dive right into the muck. I'm gonna start it off, as I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned it at the end of the video last week that, I was reiterating the fact that I'd be taking a break after the Tecmo season, which I usually do, but I'm also going to be taking a break from all the rest of the weekday shows as well. So Mega Man Maker, Throwback Thursday, Wildcard Wednesday and Failure Friday will also, all 5 of those shows will be on like a like a dormant state. A hiatus for a few months just to decompress and maybe occasionally record a few episodes and stockpile them, get a head start on them, and then even Failure Fridays, like when they are new, like wink wink nudge nudge, there might be one this week. I won't release it until after the quote unquote next season starts. Is that's what I'm gonna have it all align with Tecmo, so there'll be 20 episodes or so per season for all 5 weeks, weekday shows. I'm not necessarily Failure Friday and Wildcard Wednesday; those are kind of like part-time shows. The rest of them are more or less every week. Anyway, I'm rambling, but yeah, I'm gonna take a break from that. One thing I'm not taking a break from, and nobody seems to be taking a break from, is the 2010s Patriots just ripping shit up as they normally do. Cannot get away from that even in Tecmo. Or maybe except for original Tecmo, they can't. Those Patriots, I miss the days of those Patriots. The lovable loser Patriots. That's more for selfish reasons. For those of you who don't know, who maybe didn't missed any episode where I happened to mention. Oh, look at this! Just Lady Luck is on the side of the page. I don't know. They actually got it back. Crabtree was on the scene there. Yeah, the Raiders are my team. Even though I've never played as them in any of these Tecmo Tuesdays, I do. We tried to fumble it away to them on the return, so we had to make it up for it here. I'm a diehard Raiders fan. Absolutely despise the Patriots, mainly because of the Tuck rule, plus their success following the Tuck rule, plus living in New England and being surrounded by Patriot fans. It's absolutely insufferable. So whenever, even like shit like this, a video game simulation of, these seasons gone by, I still am have invested in both the, success of the Raiders and the demise of the Patriots. Even though in the Tampa Bay season that I played, I had to go and beat the Raiders. It was like, it was hey, that's the team that's my team. So for that moment, so the Raiders have to take a back seat when it comes to that. But I still this game too, not this particular season, but the season before, 2016, this was my dream AFC Championship scenario, where I was like, okay, what'll happen is the Raiders were going strong. They were like, they were going towards a potential bye, and it was shaping up to potentially be a Raiders Patriots AFC Championship game. And then Derek Carr broke his leg, and then the team did not recover from that at all. We had Matt McGloin take his place. He sucked. The heart of the team just fell off the track after that. And that matchup never happened. They did make the playoffs, but the third stringer Connor Cook, who I don't think is in the league anymore, ended up starting and got beat by friggin' Was it Brock Osweiler? Jesus Christ. Like, I think it was Osweiler. Anyway, yeah, it was before Deshaun Watson. Anyway, Raiders got a pick here, so maybe they can cash in and get some points. Touchdown to Crabtree. There we go. The Coop and the Crab. I miss this tandem so much. I miss this, like, era of the mid-2010s when they were actually a good team. Before Mark Davis flipped his shit and decided to, hey, let's bring in John Gruden, and, like, just shit-can the whole fucking thing because, you know, like, well, actually, it started in this season, 2017. They fired their offensive coordinator because they wanted to keep the quarterback coach, who was not a good coordinator. So the offense suffered, and then they got rid of Del Rio. He wasn't a great coach, but he was certainly better than Gruden was. He was much better than having Gruden on the team as your GM, because I do still stand by the fact that Gruden was still an excellent play caller. He was very good at scheming shit up, and the game had not passed him by. It helped that he was working in the broadcast booth for all those years, and he was a student of the game and all that. He was extremely diehard football. There's other things about him that, you know, weren't so hot, but it did obviously his scandal was not good. And it rightfully led to his dismissal as the Raiders coach. Unfortunately, despite having a really good coach on the staff already, who rallied the team to a playoff spot, despite all the insanity that went on that season, including, you know, your big wide receiver causing the death of a woman and her dog in a drunk driving incident. You know, and all these distractions and tragedies, they still made the goddamn playoffs. And they almost won against the team that eventually became the AFC champions, who almost won the fucking Super Bowl. Let's not keep him. Let's go and hire Josh fucking McDaniels. My God, it was so dumb. I saw the ineptitude and like how bad that was gonna be from a mile away. I knew it was gonna be a complete failure. The only saving grace that I had going into that whole thing was that they got Devontae Adams. I'm like, all right, McDaniels can't possibly fuck this up, and sure enough, he did. Thankfully, he's gone now, and once again, they had a good coach in place within the staff who they promoted from within, and this time they got it right and they hired him. So, we'll see how it goes. They still don't have a quarterback. Say what you will about Derek Carr being a mediocre quarterback. I could go into that for a while because it's a very polarizing situation. It was a very polarizing discussion amongst Raider fans. But it would really be nice to have a middle-of-the-road type of quarterback right now. Now that we finally have a fucking defense. And, you know, who knows about the offensive coordinator? I'm not so sure about this Getsy guy. Alright, don't let them score, you know, late in the half here. I'm going off on real-life football situations here. I have not said much about this, you know, game that is going on. But, you know, with these CPU versus CPU games, even these ones that have a vested interest in, I kind of look at these kind of games as more of a, I don't know, like an open panel kind of deal. Alright, so, look at this. The Raiders have not run for anything yet. They have, you know, both teams have had a fumble and a turnovers. They each have a turnover because the Raiders did fumble the ball. And, I'm going to skip the halftime show. And those turnovers led to really good field position and ended up being points at the end of the day. But the Raiders have not, despite having beast mode, their offense has all been through the air. Speaking of the Raiders' passing attack from back then, I think I'll go back to, you know, the whole thing on Derek Carr. You know, it's like there was always seemed to be like, you know, there were the Carr apologists, no matter how, you know, no matter what went wrong with him, they always had an excuse. And then there were the anti-car bashers who always called him garbage and other such shit. And I did not align on either side of it. It's kind of like, I guess it's very close to like the political landscape of the United States. I think both wings, left and right, need to be clipped here, because it's just, you know, it's one extreme or the other. I'm not even going to get into that, but, you know, let's just say when it came to Derek Carr, I was more of a realist. It was like, I would always be, whenever things didn't go well, I would acknowledge it, and I would say, hey, this is the thing. He's not very good in the red zone. He's not good in cold weather. But there were good things. You know, he had a strong arm. He could throw a nice pass. He definitely had chemistry with his receivers, and he was very clutch. Kind of like anti-Kirk Cousins in that way. They were both very similar in ability and everything, but they were the opposite when it came to crunch time and when shit mattered, where Cousins were kind of, you know, his record in primetime games in particular is very alarming. So, Falcons fans, you know, we'll see how it goes. That is definitely a division that's up for grabs, unless you're Carolina. But I was, you know, I liked Derek Carr. I always felt like there was never a better option. And don't say Tom Brady, because that would not have worked. Tom Brady, as great as he was, you know, this was the end of his career, and he definitely needed he always needed a top 10 defense. Every Super Bowl that he won, he had like a top half of the league in defense, for sure. And the Raiders did not have that at all. Not even a little bit. They finally got a decent defense together this year for the first time in like a couple of decades, it seems like. And that is something that still remains to be seen, whether or not they can hang on to it. Now the Raiders are getting the run game going. Patriots actually have a pretty good defense too. You know, despite their record last year, it was mostly their offense that was subpar. You know, no offensive line, no receivers, and you know the quarterback situation is they're trying a new thing right now with May and new coaching staff. Everything, it's, you know, fresh, clean start. Just beast mode again, and it's gonna be 3rd and 2 as we're winding down to the end of the third quarter. Very tight game. And it's funny, it's like the Raiders seem to use their, and that's going to be a 1st and goal, their passing game early, and then they're going to grind it out in the second half of the game here. And it works. At least it worked on this drive. You know, it doesn't really matter to me too much who wins the NFC game in this, but I will say that if the Raiders do win, I would like to see the Bears. You know, because it's just two old school franchises. Just, you know, like a very... Oh, shit. Man, that's another touchdown for the pass. You know, like, it's got that... just a hard-nosed kind of a game attached to it. It's probably going to be a cloudy, rainy, dark, muddy game. Even if it's the Super Bowl indoors, it'll still somehow have that kind of mystique around it. And if the Patriots win, then I'd like to see Seahawks in order to have, like, this little, you know, pseudo-revenge game potential. You know, like a rematch from the 2014 Super Bowl. The only thing is, Marshawn Lynch is on this team here. So a Raiders-Seahawks Super Bowl would be pretty cool, too. The Patriots-Bears is the least appealing option as far as, you know, matchup and everything goes. So here we go, last 3 minutes of the game. And they're going to just, you know, feed Marshawn the rock. They're not gonna... Well, we'll see how it goes. They still could make the same mistake Seattle did. See the play fake? It works. And back to the crab. So now it's going to be up to the Raiders defense, which once again, they did not have a very good defense back then, even with Khalil Mack. And that's the thing. You know, that was the first sign of trouble with Gruden as a GM, that he traded Khalil Mack, and I knew right then and there that this season is over. It was the first for the preseason. It was like they're done. And trading their like cornerstone franchise defensive player, generational talent, and of course they whiffed on the picks. They did get Josh Jacobs for one of those picks, but it was, you know, they swung and missed on the rest of them. You have to hit on all those picks in order to make that trade even seem like it's worth it. But even when they had Khalil Mack, they still sucked on defense because he was like one of the only bright spots on the team. So, regarding this final drive here, there's the Patriots do need to score a touchdown. They can't do anything with a field goal, but they do have a lot of time. It may, you know, a minute 15, it's not a lot of time, but they're at midfield. There's plenty of time. So now it's going to be 3rd and long just like that. You know they're going to throw, and they're going to blitz. They got rid of it anyway, and it's incomplete. So here we go, 4th down. This is it. Let's see if Brady can pull off his magic like he normally does. And they're going to pitch it to White. Get him, get him. He's right there. Oh, they all missed. He was right there. He was in front of all of you guys. What the hell? So here we go. 27 seconds left. This is it. Short pass. They end up getting so much more out of it, and it's a fucking touchdown. Unbelievable. That's exactly what would have happened to if they really met in the fucking AFC Championship. A swing pass out to the flat like that, and then he just takes it the distance. Following a 4th down where you know, they had him dead to rights, but you know, 2 guys just dove and missed. You know, what can I say? I do the same shit playing these games. When I'm the defender, I dive and fail. So that means that the Patriots, of course, are AFC champions. They fucked up with the colors. They seem to have it right with all the division wear graphics, but not for the conference championships. But whatever, it is what it is. No, you know, no surprise there. I guess you could say that the Raiders defense would let him down, and that Tom Brady would be the one leading the way. So here we go, the NFC title game, Bears and Seahawks. Like I said, it really doesn't matter to me too much. I like both of these teams. So whoever wins, just go whoever it is, whichever one beat the Pats, please. Somehow I trust Russell Wilson in his Seahawks time period, which is what this is. You know, 2017 Russell Wilson over Mitch Trubisky. So if it's like, okay, one of them is going to beat Tom Brady, yeah, I would put my faith in Seahawks. But, you know, I did not think Nick Foles was going to be able to pull off what he did when the Eagles played against them. So, you know, you never know. Because I remember that NFC Championship, it was like... Actually, so yeah, 2017, the Conference Championship, the round of Final Four, it was, you know, Patriots and Jaguars, and then Vikings and Eagles. And I think that the Vikings game was the last, the divisional game, the Vikings and Saints was the last divisional round game. Because I remember thinking, like, oh, fuck, you know, at the time it was just like, please, anybody but the Patriots. Please, you know, anybody but the Patriots, please win the fucking Super Bowl. And it was, on the AFC side, it was going to be Brady against Blake Bortles. And then on the NFC side, it was going to be Nick Foles, who was a backup and didn't have a very good divisional game. His last few games were not that good either, against either Case Keenum and the Vikings or Drew Brees and the Saints. So I was like, yes, please, you know, for the love of God, let the Saints win, so there's at least a chance that the Patriots would lose, because I could not see Tom Brady losing to Blake Bortles, Nick Foles, or Case Keenum. And then the miracle, the Minneapolis Miracle fucking happened. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Just another bit of proof that the NFL is a big practical joke lined up against me to, like, just fuck with me in every way, sense of the way imaginable, every which way but loose. You gotta be shitting me that it's gonna be like this miraculous play. But, you know, it's color me surprised, the Eagles ended up winning. And I did not watch that game, either. I didn't, that was the first Super Bowl that I refused to watch, because of, after that Atlanta Super Bowl, I said, I'm done with this bullshit. And I am not watching a single Patriots game, except for, you know, a Raider game, if Raiders are playing them, and it's not a complete slaughter, I will watch those games, and those games only. But I'm not watching a Patriots game ever again, because it's just, I can't fucking stand doing it. Not really I don't know, I don't say it's a boycott, because I'm not making any kind of a stand when I'm doing it. I just don't feel like fucking doing it. Even if it is the playoffs, even if it is the goddamn Super Bowl. I did not watch that Super Bowl, and I did not watch the one against the Rams, which, you know, as I've been told, I did not miss anything. Like, that was a pretty boring Super Bowl. But yeah, I was like, I did end up missing, you know, that classic showdown between the Eagles and Pats, but I was able to safely watch the highlights without the stress factor, knowing what how the game had already turned out. So I could enjoy the, you know, the back and forth element of it for what it is. I can't, especially during the Brady days when they were, you know, destroying everybody. I could not stomach those games. And, you know, okay, Brady retires, or he goes to Tampa first, but he's away from the Patriots. They turn into suddenly a human team again, like everybody else. And you would think, like, okay, that's, you know, I can now start enjoying watching football again. But, like I said before, because of the fact that the NFL is 100% a practical joke against me, the new dynasty that comes around is in my fucking division. And it is my arch enemy, the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the, you know, mainly the Chiefs and Broncos. Those are the two. But, you know, the Chiefs, it's the Chiefs' turn. Patrick Mahomes is going to be there for like another 20 years. And I have to live with that. Now, as the Raiders, as a Raiders fan, I have to be one of those. Like, this is the new AFC East. Now, I'm one of those teams like the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets were for 20 years, trying to find a quarterback for all this time. And I'm convinced that's exactly what's going to happen. And I'm going to have to, you know, endure it. But, you know, it's like I'm also kind of, for one thing, the one thing I will say that I do see as a positive of the Chiefs, you know, dominance, well, the Chiefs and the refs, but the Chiefs' dominance over the NFL lately, and them being a dynasty now, is that it does piss off Patriot fans when they succeed, because they cannot stand the thought of somebody else even challenging Tom Brady for, you know, most Super Bowl wins, passing yards, the conversation of greatest quarterback of all time. It's really early to anoint Pat Mahomes in that bracket. Some people are, you know, projecting him to go in that direction. We'll see how it goes. But that's one thing that I will say I take as a positive of the whole thing, because the Raiders are gonna suck no matter what, no matter who, no matter how good the division is. You know, I pretty much can. I've accepted that. I've come to terms with it. I've come to peace with. I'm at peace with the whole substitute thing, and I'm just sort of trying to look at football differently and just kind of take it all in stride, no matter how shitty it goes, because it's really all I can do at this point. It's been such a just like a, for the most part, it's been a terrible, terrible run for the franchise since that Super Bowl loss. There have been some exceptions. There have been some decent teams. This particular era here, like the 2015, 2016 ish teams, and 2017 was an underachiever. They would have still been good, I think, the year after if they stayed the course and not derailed everything. You know, they still have the talent and everything like that. But aside from that, it's been mostly crap. And other things, like, aside from my team sucking, everything around going, like, it seems like anything that I would root for aside from the Raiders would not go, it would not go in my favor. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, are up 10-7 at halftime. So far, you know, it's been a pretty evenly matched up matchup, and we'll see how it goes for the rest of this game. I did not skip the halftime show that time. It's fine. Like I said, whoever wins this game wins this game. As long as there aren't any injuries, because I do, you know, I do want to see one of these teams win the whole Super Bowl. You know, and I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it or anything like that. I'm not, you know, I don't think about what the Tecmo-verse is, how the Tecmo-verse is going when I'm, you know, in my everyday life. It's just a fun little universe to be in in the moment when I sit down to record these games. And that Legion of Boom, the defense coming up big. I know it's Trubisky and everything, but I mean, you know, he got to the NFC Championship. This wasn't, you know, this was back when he was projected to still be a good quarterback. You got yardage out of that? Oh, you know what it was? I think it was because of a design run that didn't count it as a sack. You know, do they... You know, if it's like a wildcat formation type deal and the guy that takes the snap isn't your quarterback, but he... Wow, that went through his hands. But he takes a... He's obviously trying to pass, and he gets tackled behind the line. Is that a quarterback sack, even though he's not the quarterback? Like, it was just because of the fact that it's not your, you know, default quarterback. You've got a strange formation, wildcat type formation or some shit. And speaking of, oh my god, when, you know, not really wildcat, but like option route plays where, not option route, but the halfback option where you pitch it to the running back, you hand it off, and then he goes to throw the ball. All right, so yeah, not even that play, just a friggin' run. If a running back is gonna lose 5 or 6 yards, why not just throw the fucking ball away? Pretend it was a halfback option. You will get an incomplete pass instead of a loss of 6 yards. I mean, there are variables in this situation. You do have to throw it in the vicinity of a receiver, and most of the time those guys are blocking because it's a run play. So, I mean, maybe there's some kind of rule that I'm not thinking of, but I think it's one of those things that, you know, none of these guys ever think about because that's not part of their DNA to, you know, to throw an incomplete pass. When, you know, it's like your mentality as a running back is to run into the teeth of the defense, and it's like that's the, you know, the mentality of a running back to, you know, as the hard-nosed, smash-mouth type of player to endure that shit. I don't know. The other thing that I would consider doing, like, to take advantage of rules, is if you are leading at the end of a game, like, let's say, you know, you're up by 4 points, you know that the opponent needs to get in the end zone. Instead of, like, let's say they have, let's say your opponent has the ball at, like, the 25-yard line, and they have, like, a minute to get down the field. Instead of trying to, like, instead of going to prevent defense, to prevent a big play from happening, why not send all 45 of your players on your team out on the field? And, you know, there's no way they're advancing. Now, yes, that is a penalty. It's too many men on the field, but what is that, like 5 yards? So you're only giving up 5 yards at a time, at the most, because you're not going to give up a play. You're not going to give up any big play yardage. And I would say, you know, do that until maybe they start, I don't know, like, it would have to be a timing situation, because, you know, you're obviously not going to hold them to 4th down that way. But, you know, you set them up so that all they can do is Hail Mary it. And then you send, you know, all your hands guys, your secondary, all your secondary members out there, like, or like your eight defensive back, and like 2 rushers team to just knock it down. Anyway, this game looks like it's over. I mean, you know, Bears could score a touchdown and get an onside kick, so it's not over, but it's unlikely. You know, it's like that onside kick is not a strong chance of it, but we've seen some crazier things happen. We've seen some really crazy shit happen in this game. Why not something insane like Mitch Trubisky making it to the Super Bowl? They're gonna run out of time here. I was kind of waiting to see what would happen if he got tackled. Like, are they gonna go for it? Because that'd be fucking stupid. Like, you know, extend the game, get it to, well, you know, it's on the 1-yard line. You'd go for it. I mean, you're not gonna have much time to get a touchdown after an onside kick anyway. Oh shit, they might get this. They fucking got this. All right, well, now they can get a field goal. One play can get them into makeable field goal range. Oh shit, he broke a tackle. Are they gonna kick it now? They're gonna kick it now. Wow, I was a 51-yarder. This is very makeable. And Connor Barth is a good kicker. It's down the middle. It's fucking in. Holy shit, I stand corrected. They came back. They did everything that needed to happen happened. They got a, you know, they scored the touchdown. their onside kick was at like 0 power, and everybody that ran after it had like a full-on sprint towards the ball. But the Seahawks do get the ball to start off the overtime. But hey, you know, for the Bears, they're right back in it, and they're kicking it onside. What the fuck? It's not gonna work twice. They did it again. This happened in a different game too, in overtime, where they went for a freaking onside kick, and now they're in field goal range already. They're kicking this early though. I would run it for a few more times. But it doesn't matter. It's in. That is fucking stupid. Like that kind of ruins it. That the computer is that dumb. Like, it's overtime. It's not the fourth quarter anymore. I don't know. I think it's something busted with the ROM, with the the ROM hack. I guess it's you get what you get with these games. That's at least that didn't happen in the Raider game, because if the Patriots would have won on some stupid shit like that, I would have said, okay. I know the Raiders are a dumb team, but that is insane. So we're going to have another Patriots and Seahawks Super Bowl next week. That will be the end of this Tecmo season, too. So, like I said, that'll be it for a little while. I'll be taking a break after that one. But we do still have that game next week. So, thank you for watching this week, if you have. And I will see you next week for the Super Bowl.